We've now looked at the built-in modules and what functionality they offer. There are a couple of technical topics I want you to understand before we start building our application together, and that will make our life easier in the next module. First, client-side package management. Angular applications most commonly use npm to manage dependencies. We've talked about installing npm in the previous module. However, at the time of the creation of this course, there are some known issues with npm. So a better alternative now is Yarn, which is fully compatible with npm. Yarn is another client-side package manager. Using Yarn, we can easily manage packages in the application, so adding, removing, and so on. ASP.NET 0 is also configured by default to use the Angular CLI, which, if you've never used it, is the command line interface for Angular development and deployment. For us, developers, the good news is that things have already been pre-configured, again in ASP.NET 0, to work with the CLI, allowing us to just type npm start, which will kick off compilation and deployment. I will see this in the demo in just a minute here. Finally, remember that we looked earlier in this module at Swagger, which described all the endpoints of the API in ASP.NET Core? I'm sure you do. Now, we've said earlier that our Angular app will communicate with the API. Of course, it's a SPA. In a real-life, larger applications, such as the ones built with ASP.NET 0, we'll have a lot of requests going from the client to the server. All of these are basically AJAX requests. While there may be a lot of these requests, the code that we'll have to write to communicate with these endpoints will often be very similar. Similar code. That sounds like something that we could automate, I guess. Well, indeed, instead of typing all the boilerplate code, we can use a tool called nswag, which will, let's say, hook into the Swagger endpoint created in ASP.NET Core. It's already configured in the application for use through a bat file, so a batch file that we can run. When doing so, it will look at the service classes we have in the server application and generate proxies for us in the Angular application in TypeScript.